Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum, 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 bum. All right, today, June 16th, big anniversary for me. What had happened was 20 years ago, a friend of mine from high school invited me to his high school graduation party, and at the time, that was my happiest day alive. You see, I didn't get along with a lot of my high school classmates. I ended up taking a GED and I started college early, and so I didn't get along with many of my classmates. So when he invited me to the party, it was the highlight of probably that whole year. I thought that would be the happiest day I ever lived. I really did at the time. Obviously, it's come to pass that there's been happier days in my life, obviously. Actually, a lot of my happy days in my life happened in June, believe it or not. It's weird. But at the party, two of his friends had this challenge. This was years before anything like this would be popular. They had put their hands in ice cold water and wanted to see how long they could hold it there. And neither of them wanted to give up. But we had to get packing, and it didn't look very safe for them either. So we came up with an idea that they would end it together so that they could wouldn't have to they could save face. So the two of them shook hands, and then they both lifted their hands out of the water, and that was it. Now at the party, my friend, two of my friends noticed that I had lost a lot of weight in the year before that. What had happened was that I had started going to college early. I was very overweight as a kid. I used to drink multiple liters of soda every day, believe it or not. I had an addiction, but I quit soda overnight. And my friends were telling me that an occasional soda was not going to kill me, and they might have been right. Actually, they I don't know. Read around. I think the amount of soda that is safe to drink is a lot less than what most people actually do, right? We could gather statistics. I think the number of people who drink a non-zero amount of soda that is in the safe amount is very minuscule in our population. And so and besides, why would you? I mean, if you're going to drink soda that infrequently, you're just going to set yourself up for disappointment because you'll want it a lot more than that infrequently, right? So, but at the time, this was back in 2005, a lot of people didn't understand that concept, right? You know what's really sad? I hope I can, I hope it doesn't turn out this way, but every year when I tell my friend about the anniversary, he refuses to acknowledge me about it. I thank him for the party, and he just refuses to even acknowledge when I say happy anniversary. And so 20 years later, I still remember the exact day of the party, and he still refuses to acknowledge me. When I send him an email tonight acknowledging it, it will be literally the 20th time I thanked him, and he still won't acknowledge me. It's just kind of sad. When I was in high school, I obviously didn't have a high school sweetheart, but 20 years later, I get to be somebody else's high school sweetheart. What had happened was I teach at a community college, and one of the students here is also gifted, and she's still in high school, and she graduated earlier this year, and invited me to her party. And when I got to be her high school sweetheart, it felt like a 20-year overdue debt has finally been paid off. Imagine running up a huge debt and not being able to pay it 20 years ago, and then one day, out of the blue, calling the bank. Better yet, this is more like an IRS debt, right? Calling the IRS, hey, I have this money you've been wanting for 20 years, and to be able to pay the whole thing plus 20 years worth of penalties and interest all in one go, right? It kind of felt like that, believe it or not. This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.